Okay, it's November 17th. Bella and I are sitting in our family room. Beans is somewhere hiding. And Pepper's outside. It's kind of a sunny and cold day. And we are approaching Thanksgiving in a couple weeks. And we decided we were going to talk about the good things in our lives, because we're approaching Thanksgiving, and how our lives have changed or not. Bella just said, well, our lives are pretty much the same as they were, except for I'm not getting the same paycheck. And I said, no, they're really different. So, so maybe there's a difference of perspective there. What do you think? Why do you think our lives are pretty much the same?
Well, we pretty much do the same things we've always done. I cook, you eat.
In our free time. But now we have more free time, really. And we have we have a lot more time together than we did when we were both working, especially since you had to drive an hour each way.
Yeah, that was a pain. And I had a few accidents between I don't know how many years, was it like 12 years I was there? I can't remember.
Yeah.
But I had 2 accidents, and they were not my fault. Because one, I didn't even know this was happening, but there was a dead horse in the middle of the road. There's nothing I can do about that. And another thing is I ran over, someone had left a gas tank, like a fill up your car with gas when you're out of gas tank thing. Hit that.
So that's actually something we can. That's an improvement.
Yeah.
You don't have to do all that driving, which was really stressful and difficult. And we see a lot more of each other.
And also, one of the biggest positive things was from leaving the job, was that I would eat crap on my way to work and eat crap on my way home from work. So that was 2 hours a day. I was eating like Cracker Jacks and chocolate covered pretzels and, stuff. Just because you're driving, you want to stay awake and you want to be alert and,
Those ice cream bars. What are those ice cream bars you used to love?
Eskimo bars.
No, not Eskimo bars. The ones that are squares. They're like rectangles. They're
Klondike bars.
Yeah, Klondike bars.
Yeah, I don't eat any of that stuff anymore.
Yeah. And I'd find like whole bags of Werther's. I wouldn't find the bag, just the whole bag's worth of wrappers.
The thing is, though, when you're driving and you've worked all day, you have to, you want to be safe driving back and forth on that road, especially. So I had to.
And eating nonstop is something they advocate in all the safety driving videos.
Well, yes. No, but it really, I gained a ton of weight. I've lost a ton of weight since I stopped working.
I know. And since you often talked about how you wish you could like have an amputation or something to lose weight, I guess you don't mind that you got Alzheimer's.
Well, I forget I forget a lot. No, I don't. I don't really forget a lot.
What do you mean by forget a lot?
Like, I don't forget. I don't know. Now you've lost my place in time.
You mean you don't forget stuff that happened in the past?
I don't. Yeah, no, I don't. I don't forget. I don't forget nearly as much as you think I do. I often, act like I forgot because I'm trying to get something I want, but I shouldn't have said that out loud to you.
I don't believe that.
You don't believe that?
Well, I believe you're capable of being sneaky, but I'm not sure. I think usually your forgetting is pretty genuine.
Oh, I do. I am forgetful, but I also use it to my benefit.
Oh, yeah.
I don't.
Yeah. Like if it's something you don't really want to talk about, or like want to pretend like, oh, I couldn't do that, even though I previously like said I would, that sort of thing?
No, more like I work really hard. I go outside and I do a lot of work outside in the yard and stuff. And you and I disagree a lot about how things should go. I mean, that is certainly a big part of my remembering.
Right. No, that's what I'm talking about. Like we'll have a conversation and we'll finally reach some sort of compromise and like, okay, this is the way we're going to do it. And then like a couple hours later, you'll like revert to your original position. Like, oh, that's what we agreed on, right? No.
But, sometimes I think you might take advantage of my memory loss.
I should. I should do that, but I don't.
You don't?
No.
Well, I can tell you that both Beans and Pepper never forget me. They love me very much.
Okay, you just segued. That was
I know.
that was
That was
that was like
purposeful.
a really forced segue. I mean, even I'm totally not buying that. Yeah. By the way, Beans. What?
Beans is responsible for everything. I was just trying to segue away.
Huh. Wow, this podcast is working really well. Give me some insight into what's going on. Okay.
So can we talk about my pets now?
No, we're trying to avoid the pet subject. I mean, not like it's a bad subject, just like it's been pounded to death.
You can't say that.
Well, I mean, over addressed.
I just really, really love my babies.
I know. So, we're happy. So there's a lot of good things in our current situation. I mean, I think the one really bad thing that hangs over everything is that, things progress. It's a progressive disease. So, even if we have like good days, good times, we enjoy each other, there's this sort of cloud over it. You know what I'm saying?
See, you and I have a completely different thought process about this. I don't think about it. I don't think about it at all. When you start talking about it, that reminds me, it's like, oh yeah, I have this dreaded disease that I'm going to die from. But I don't think about it it doesn't, I'm sure I should be like more concerned about it. But I don't feel like I'm dying, though I am, as is everyone. But I'm always been knuckleheaded. So I'm not bothered by the fact that I have this terrible disease. And at some point, when I get really bad, I'm not even going to know I have it at all. So it's sort of like, it's a kind of a win-win disease when it comes to, dealing with it. You don't really have to. It kind of deals with it for you.
I know what you're saying. That is a blessing. I think that is something that is a good thing, that you're not in a lot of pain from the Alzheimer's anyway, and you're not, having these kind of obvious or awful symptoms. You're just sort of living, and things are changing, but it's not something you really notice.
Yeah, because I still drive them all over the place. I go all over, I drive through the mountains. I go anywhere I want to. I never get lost. I go to the grocery store. I did have a couple issues at the grocery store, which was not, and I repeat, not my fault. My card I don't know what it got snagged by some bad person who wanted a cup of coffee for $2.40, which obviously was just a way to see if they could get away with it. So they took my card away, and I didn't have a card. So this was very frustrating, but I think this would have been frustrating for anyone with or without Alzheimer's. So Will gives me his card, and he gives me the PIN number to go to the grocery store. So I go to the grocery store and the PIN number doesn't work, or I'm not using it properly, or I did it too many times. I'm not really sure because I've never been in that situation before. I don't usually have to worry about having a PIN number on my credit card. I've never had to use a PIN number on my credit card before. I just use the credit card or the debit card. So, but twice I went into the grocery store and twice it wouldn't work. And it was really frustrating and I was really upset about it. But I think that if I had not had Alzheimer's, I would not have been so upset about it. So it's like sort of things that happen that even though it's not related necessarily to Alzheimer's, I just blame everything on Alzheimer's.
Yeah, and sometimes it is related, but I see exactly what you're saying. It's really hard to live in this world, and we've discussed this, that requires all kinds of passwords all the time, and is a big challenge for people who don't have Alzheimer's to navigate. When you have Alzheimer's, when you have a very serious short-term memory problem, that's the constant dealing with passwords is a big issue.
It is a big issue. Twice I was in the grocery store and twice I was sitting on the bench outside the girls' bathroom crying because I couldn't get you to answer the phone. I got all the groceries, put it on the thing, and then I'm trying to figure out how to pay for it. But fortunately, the lovely woman who was at Hannaford said, just push the green button, and don't worry about it. It's going to work. So eventually I was able to do that, but it's kind of horrible when you go to the grocery store and you have your groceries all there, already bagged and you're paying, and the card doesn't work because it's a different card and the PIN number's different.
Yeah.
And it was and it happened twice. So I was a very unhappy camper about that. And that's not Alzheimer's. That's just the way things are.
Well, I think it's the way things are, but it's aggravated by the Alzheimer's. The situation is made worse by sometimes not remembering passwords, putting in the wrong one, and then not being sure what to do at that point and that sort of thing.
And also when out in Phoenix, somebody snagged my card number, and the bank had to take my card back.
Yeah.
And, so then I go to the grocery store, and I don't have a card, and my husband's at work, and I can't get a hold of him, and I'm at the grocery store with bags of food and no way to pay for it. So, that's very frustrating, and that really doesn't have anything to do with Alzheimer's. That has to do with we're knuckleheads.
Yeah, I've been reprimanded by Zoe for not having my phone on me at all times and not answering it immediately. So she said I should tell people at work that, I may have to answer my phone at any moment and I should carry it with me, into meetings and stuff, which I've been kind of hesitant to do, but she does have a point.
Is it because of me?
Yeah, for situations like that.
Yeah.
When you're trying to get a hold of me, when you've got something going on, you need some help, and I'm not picking up my phone because I'm not someone who carries their phone around with them all the time.
And also you're working, and you might be in a meeting.
Right. Especially at work, I don't necessarily, sometimes I have it right next to me on the desk, and I'm sitting in my chair, but sometimes I'm somewhere else, and I don't carry it around with me.
Right, no, but it's difficult because even though I didn't do anything wrong, I followed the card rules, and I had the PIN number and everything. I had everything the way it was supposed to be, and it still wouldn't work. Yeah. So it was like I was blaming myself for being mental, and it turns out it had nothing to do with me.
But the passwords in general have been hard in this situation. It has been a real problem because sometimes you've changed passwords. Sometimes you haven't been able to get into sites, maybe because you got the password slightly wrong. So then you changed it. And it's things that...
I never change it, darling. You change it. And then you tell me. And sometimes that message doesn't get to me. I have the PIN number right there, over there on that table right now.
Okay. I think you and Zoe actually changed that pin, like when you went
great.
up to Panera 2 days ago.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah.
Why would we do that?
Not the pin on the card. I'm talking about the password for the bank account, Glens Falls National.
There's a PIN for Glens Falls National?
Not a pin, a password to get in and look at the site for online banking.
Oh, I don't know if I even knew how to do that before Alzheimer's.
Yeah, you did. You have the icon right on your phone to check the account.
Oh, you're right. That's right. That's absolutely true. And I do use it.
So that's a challenge.
It is.
But if that's our worst thing, that's not so bad.
Well, if the person in Phoenix didn't use my card to buy a $2.40 coffee, I wouldn't have had such a nightmare experience. And once you have that kind of a nightmare experience, it's really hard not to think, oh, I'm going to screw this up. This is going to be a screw up. It's like I feel like it's going to be bad because, it happened before and it was bad. So now it's like I've got this attitude, well, it's not going to work.
It kind of undermines your confidence.
Exactly.
Yeah. So we're talking about good things in our lives because this is Thanksgiving coming soon.
Sorry.
Coming up. No, that's okay.
I'm just whining and complaining.
No, you're not. No, I think that was a good thing to talk about. I mean, I think that is a good subject for the podcast on Alzheimer's. But we were going to talk about, how our lives are really pretty good despite this.
Well, one good thing is that Superman came into our life.
Beans? I don't know what you're talking about. Oh,
Joe.
You mean getting our bathroom worked on?
Yes.
Yeah.
He's so great. He's doing, we're very inept. I can cook and clean, but I can't put in windows and move refrigerators and stuff. But he is so great. He does everything I ask. And even when I don't ask, he suggests things that are better than what I would have thought. So he's great. But because of him, we are updating our entire gigantic house, which is quite large.
No, not the whole house, just the bathrooms.
Well, we've already done everything else.
Yeah, sort of.
The kitchen's been done.
Okay. That is kind of along our theme because we should be thankful that, you were able to work while you were working in a pretty good job, you were able to have a 401k, and now that you've had to leave, we're able to use that money to make improvements to our house. I mean, that is a nice thing.
It is very nice.
And we're lucky to have that.
Yeah, and our house is really, really big, and we've been working on it for a really long time. So the last thing that needs to be done is the 3 bathrooms.
4 total.
4 total, but you're right, it'll be 4 total altogether. Yeah. That's how big the house is. 4 bathrooms.
Yeah.
But it will be great. He's doing a really good job. He's a super sweet guy. And it's going to be really nice. He's already made a big difference already. But we have 4 bathrooms left to go. Yeah. No, 3 bathrooms.
And you have some company during the day. Joe working on the bathroom.
I know, it's great. He's so sweet. And Beans is such a comedian that he also has Beans to rely on to keep him company. Before the wall went up in the kitchen, Beans was unbelievable. He was determined he was going to be in that bathroom with the workmen, no matter what I would do. And I was afraid he was going to get in a hole or something. But, and we tried everything to keep him out. Finally, the wall went up, and now he can't get in there anymore.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, it was a job. There were 2 grown men and myself keeping that bunny out of that bathroom when they were in the process of trying to, put it together. It was pretty funny, and he knew when he'd get in trouble, he'd be like scamper out really quick.
Yeah. We also.
Beans is our rabbit, by the way.
Oh yeah. Well, regular listeners of our podcast know that if there are such a thing as regular listeners.
I don't know if I mentioned it yet, but I love my rabbit and my dog. And it's become a problem because my husband is not so committed to the animal in our lives.
Yeah, like willing to sacrifice sleep and everything else to meet the pet's desires.
Yeah.
Yeah, not quite.
But, honey, we have to figure out a way. See, one thing we did, not that I want to take up all the time, but one thing we did was because Pepper has had 2 surgeries on her back legs, that we made a ramp, a really nice ramp, right up to the back porch where there is a doggy door that she can go in and out of, and it's got a bed in there that she can sleep on. I mean, an actual, like, lounge bed. And she, it's all nice and clean, and she can come and go, but she won't come and go. She won't go down that damn ramp. I don't know what it is. I have food all over that ramp, so she would walk up it. I don't know if it's because of her back legs haven't been surgically, fixed.
It is. I mean, it is. It's because of her, general physical uncertainty. She's just scared of doing that.
I wish there was something we could do, because it breaks my heart that Beans is in this really nice cozy room, our family room, where everybody hangs out, and Beans has a condo and the doors are always open so Beans can run around, and Pepper's like left in the library by herself, and it really bothers me. I want her to come up and sleep with us like she used to, but I don't think we can do that anymore.
Yeah.
But if she had a friend, I think it would make a big difference for her.
Maybe. All right, let's switch subjects.
Okay.
Another thing that's been really good and positive is seeing Ruth Fish over at the Alzheimer Center for Excellence at Glens Falls Hospital. I thought that was really, really good. And her recommendations on, the anxiety that you were having has really helped.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I rarely feel anxious.
Yeah. And you were already on one new prescription, but she gave us another one, and it seems like that has made a big difference.
Yeah, I really don't feel the anxiety.
The anxiety's like almost totally gone, or totally gone.
It is. It's a huge improvement. I don't have the elephant on my chest anymore. It's gone.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
I wouldn't mind having an elephant in my house, but I don't want it on my chest.
Yeah, that's a big deal. I mean, it's really your whole quality of life.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I can drink coffee. See, I was under the impression that I couldn't drink coffee because of the anxiety. So I had to go to, like, peppermint tea and that sort of thing. But she was able, she said, no, you can drink coffee.
Well, she said you can try it. Coffee might maybe be making you more anxious, but maybe not. So why don't you try it since you like it so much? So it's not a problem.
It's not a problem.
Yeah.
It's not a problem. I don't have any. The only anxiety I have is not about, isn't brought on by coffee or anything like that. It's the dog. The dog creates a lot of anxiety for me because I love her so much, and she has a disability. I mean, we built this beautiful ramp for her, and we put first we put felt on it, but she wouldn't go up the ramp. So then we got some paint that had dirt or something in it to make it stick like non-slippery. She still wouldn't go up. So then I ordered these rolls of sticky tape that has granules on it, and I put it on the ramp. She still won't go up it.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure how to, if I could just get her to not to be afraid to walk up the ramp, because there's two doors off the porch, so she could go up the ramp, and then there's two steps on the other side where there's a door. It's like a hallway almost. It's like a door there and a door there, and one door has the ramp and the other door has the steps. But I don't know how I can get her to cooperate.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't think you can. I kind of tuned out there for a second.
Yeah,
because I've
ever-
heard the ramp saga several times.
Have you ever
Several
heard me
hundred
talk about
times.
the dog? Okay, last thing I
Well,
will say about it is
oh my gosh.
I love my animals.
All right.
I really love them. I can't even tell you how much I love my dog and my bunny.
Yeah. So I'm kind of, I mean, I don't know that we're going to get to the bottom of this, but I'm kind of interested by like what you were saying about, well, two things. You've said two, I think, really interesting things. One was you don't think about having Alzheimer's. You just kind of go through life and, your life is different now than it was before, but you're not constantly thinking about why it's different or, right? I mean, because you're home, you're not going to work. I mean, your life was changed a lot by this disease, but you're not sort of like sitting around brooding about it, or everything you do, you're not thinking, oh, I'm doing this differently because I have Alzheimer's. And then, but then you said that you actually remember more than you let on, and you use the Alzheimer's to try to fool people such as me. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious about that, about what your experience is and how much you think about.
I don't think about it at all. I don't think about it at all unless something like the grocery store thing that happened. And then I blamed it all on Alzheimer's. But it wasn't Alzheimer's.
I think it was.
No, it wasn't.
At least partly it was.
I don't think so. Because it had to do with the card and the PIN number. And that wasn't me. You're the one who had the card and the PIN number, and you sent me to the store without it. So
no, I understand that.
That's not really Alzheimer's. That's you not having your shit together when it comes to
all right, we've traced the source of this problem. All right,
but I don't think about the fact that I have Alzheimer's at all. I never think about it as I see myself probably differently than other people.
But you mention it sometimes to me.
Well, if I want to get something from you, it's an easy thing to
were you just looking for sympathy or something?
Attention, maybe.
Oh, okay. Well, but sometimes you say to me that you feel bad for me because...
I do feel bad for you because you have a mental wife. But who knows? I was mental maybe before... I was mental way before we met.
Well, you didn't have Alzheimer's.
No. But I was a little mental.
Well, everyone has their things.
Yeah. The thing is, though, I don't think about Alzheimer's in the way that other people who, like my daughter Zoe is always concerned about me. She's always worried about me. Something could happen. But I drive, I shop, I cook, I clean, I walk the dog.
Yeah.
I visit with the neighbors. I mean... I don't.
So from your point of view, it doesn't define you. It's not something that. Who are you? I'm Bella. I have Alzheimer's. I mean, It's not like that.
No, I don't even think about it, to be honest. Sometimes I'll use it, but most of the time I just don't think about it. I expect at some point I may be bad enough that I will think about it,
but maybe at that point you won't.
I won't even remember it. But at this point, I'm 61 years old, though I only look like I'm about 49. But I don't think about that I have Alzheimer's. It doesn't occur to me. I don't think about it until like something with that grocery store situation.
Right.
And then I blamed it all on Alzheimer's when in fact it was all your fault.
I see.
Because you didn't give me the card.
No, I gave you the card. I didn't give you the pen.
Oh, that was it. But that was like a anxiety moment. But they're not brought on by Alzheimer's. That had nothing to do with Alzheimer's. That I went to the store with the wrong card or the wrong pin or whatever.
Yeah.
So you can't blame everything on Alzheimer's. At some point, I probably will be really nutty and wet my pants and stuff like that, but I'm not even close to that right now.
Yeah.
So, it is what it is. People have worse diseases than I do, and it's you just are watching TV and the children and the children that have no arms and legs, and they're on TV, and I have no reason to feel sorry for myself. I have knocked myself out many times, so I suspect that might be a contributing factor. I'm a very clumsy person. I've always been a clumsy person. There's nothing you can do about that. I mean, if I lived on the beach, I could have probably avoided some of the problem. If I fell, I just fell, a face plant in the sand, no big deal. But usually it's on ice, and I usually knock myself out and dislocate something, as opposed to, skipping on the beach and, if I fall, I fall. Nothing bad happens. But I have had a lot of head injuries, so I'm not surprised that I have a problem with my brain.
No. Okay, what do you think? Signing off?
Just one last thing, that I have a dog named Pepper who I love so much, and I have a bunny named Beans who I also love so much. And it's a dilemma because we have a big house, but we usually spend our time in this one room watching the news or whatever, and the bunny lives in this room, and the dog doesn't get to come in because the bunny's here. So it's quite a dilemma for me to have my two most loved animals that can't be in the same room together.
Okay, there you have it. Signing off from the Beans and Pepper podcast.